I can't stress enough. It's more like a cave bottom. We've actually had some geologists studying it right now. So it's very slick. We highly recommend felt or metal cleats. Wading staff will save your life out there.
Mm.
It can be tough wading. Now, I say that, but the reason it's such a good fishery is because it's just a limestone chalk stream. You got little pockets the rainbows can hide in. Most of the river is less than waist deep. Myself, I really enjoy tightlining techniques. I like to throw a little nymph and watch something chase it.
Mm. Yes.
Now, you can get away with fishing any way you want on the spring. The best thing about it is it's not really technical. It's stocked weekly, so it makes it an easy fishery. And then we have holdover fish we're always chasing up and down the river. But we do have a little bit of wade in access in town, a place called Laster Walk In, very famous. It's right there in town, a big parking lot in the middle of a field. You can go in there. The wading there is very slick and very mossy, but it has some of the best little high sticking areas you can fish in. The fish are there, just fish in between the moss and they'll come up and say hello.
Mm.
It's a great area there. Now, once you get below Laster, we do have an area about probably about 2 to 3 miles where you could run a boat. Now, we have a lot of gentlemen that live around the area that like the bass fish, and that's where they mainly spend their time chasing largemouth. Uh, the native fish is smallmouth and largemouth, so a lot of guys go after that. And then that long, deep stretch runs into Dam 3. From Dam 3 down is some of the prettiest floating river water I have ever been on. It's very shallow. If you're not a good canoeist, it is a class 2 river.
Mm.
Class 2 means you just kind of got to know what you're doing.
Right.
You got to get out there and be safe. I've pulled many a person out of the river, and I'd rather not do that. Just be careful out there. But from Dam 3 down, you begin to go down. There's a access called Bayou Access Road. It's a access on the far side that's owned by the state, ran by AGFC. It's very popular. There's people come there from all over the world. I've seen countless different people down there. You can fish from the bank down there, or you could wade out into the river. The river's really small. I'd say it's 20 yards wide at times. We have to run small boats because you can't get much down it unless it's canoe, raft, or sometimes during the summer, inner tubes.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
We hate we hate to hook one of those. They give too good of a fight sometimes. But it's really important to whenever you're wading out there to be careful. It can be sketchy wading. Um, we love to fish up and down it, but during the summer we do have snakes. I've seen people really walk the water when they see one of our beautiful water snakes swim by.
Yeah.
They're not really harmful, but they'll scare you to death. And as far as fishing the river, it's so much fun because if you like to fish an indicator, you like to fish some nymphs under it, it's perfect for that. Some of the runs are really fast and the water's very turbulent. Euro nymphing can be fantastic in those stretches. But being an old soul like myself, I'm a wet fly fisherman. The
Mm.
river, it's just really easy to throw a fly across the river, mend it once, let that thing swing out. And I'm telling you, on the spring river, when that thing tails out and you strip it back a little bit, it's pure excitement. You're either going to have something chasing it or something's going to be trying to pull you in the river. Now we've really working on getting catch and release areas on the river too. We got a lot of different things we're working on to get better management. It is a put and take fishery. Um, with the new age of everyone coming along and everyone being so educated on why they catch and release and the importance of it, I think it's a matter of time before we do get some catch and release areas, but this time we don't have any. No regs on the river whatsoever, no barbless, no nothing like that. Honestly, I tell everybody, be a sportsman and do your part and try to keep our fish safe and alive. They're very hardy fish being raised in our hatcheries. It's on the spring river. Excellent campgrounds for camping, RV hookups. With the new Airbnb rage, you can find places all around here. I don't even know how to use the app, but I will say they're all up and down the river. You can get a house right on the river. They're very nice. And the campground suite, we really try to support them. We do have a lot of floaters during the summer months. Uh, they always close down around September till about the 1st of April, and we're the only guys out there. It's
Right.
just pure fly fishing extravaganza.
Mhm.
And then during the summer, we do have to share the river. It's just a beautiful little place to go. Recently, we started streamer fishing more. Now, unlike the White River, we don't have the browns like they do. Game and Fish is trying to plant browns in our river. I know where a big old brown is right now that we're always trying to catch, but they are ornery. I will definitely say our big fish are rainbow trout. Um, we were fishing the other day, and it's just unbelievable how quickly the trout grow in our river. Usually a 24-inch fish is going to be close to 10 pounds. And that's what really sets our river apart from other rivers is the food sources. The food sources in our rivers are really with sculpins, crawfish, minnows of 10 different species. Uh, I've seen leeches run right by me. That's not cool. But due to it being so much warmer, we can use a lot of different food sources and a lot of different flies to imitate those things. Now, I say that, and I'm a nympher. We have caddis and mayflies hatch out daily because it's a constant water temperature. We really don't have seasonal hatches. It's just sun hits the water and out they come. We do have a hexagenia hatch that happens during the late part of August.
Mm.
Hexagenias are sought after worldwide. They're a fun, big mayfly to fish. And it's actually become a big part of what we do. We actually fish the nymphs more than the dries. But when you got them big old mayflies in there, you got to get after them.
Oh, absolutely.
I do want to mention one food source that's in the river that a lot of people overlook. We have an abundance of black snails, the small little ice cream cone looking little black
Uh-huh.
snails. One of my favorite fly patterns that was showed to me many, many moons ago when I first started guiding is a simple little woolly worm. Tie you a black woolly booger, and tear that tail right off
Yeah.
of there, and you got a woolly worm. And
Yeah,
that
that's
imitates
true.
our snails so well that that's a big part of what we use a lot of times. Definitely a woolly booger, a nymph, and an egg river.
Okay.
I don't, we don't throw too many great big streamers. When we are doing that, we're chasing either the walleye or the big browns. And the river's actually full of walleye. I've been on this river a long time. We've caught maybe 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
They're hard to catch. I'm sure they're eating the rainbow trout that get stocked every week. That's a hard fly to imitate, let me tell
Yeah,
you.
that one is. Yes.
But the main thing is when people come up, we want to make sure they understand that the river's very slick. Be careful wading out there. It doesn't hurt to do a buddy system.
Yeah, right. Right. So you wouldn't go the traditional midge, that type, in your on your river like you would on the white. There's the
That's a good question. That's a very good question. You could. I'll tell you what happened to me one day. An Orvis manager was up here. He's fly fishing. He said, "Mark, I want to take you out to dinner. I want to talk to you about some things." I said, "Let's go for it, buddy. I figure I get a free dinner."
absolutely.
He shows up. He's fishing the indicator of midges. He said, "Mark, I keep getting bites, but I can't land them." I said, "Welcome to the 10 subspecies of minnows and bait fish we have in the river." Now, absolutely, you can catch trout on midges on the river. Absolutely. We use them all the time, especially on the tough days. But do not be surprised when you start catching the other fish that are in the river.
Yeah.
Countless times we float the river, we see shad that are rising to the midges.
Uh-huh.
And every time I get somebody from out west, they're like, "Let's fish for those trout." And we'll go
Right.
over and catch them. They're threadfin shad. They can go up to a pound, but they don't fight very good.
Right. Right.
So we do kind of use a little bit bigger nymphs a lot of times. I always tell people I tie from size 14 to size 6. That's my window.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's where I feel comfortable. And
Yep.
then, but definitely you can catch them on 18s and 20s. You just blow an egg or something, fish right on the bottom. Will work. But me, always looking for that big old holdover. I'm looking for the thrill of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really beat an olive woolly booger. I
Yeah.
know people say that everywhere,
Yeah.
but we have so many sculpins in the river. We caught a sculpin one time that was over 7 inches long. So
Goodness.
if you're looking for streamer fishing, you want to
Mm,
imitate the minnows and the sculpins that's in the river, and you might get in something you ever seen before.
that's interesting. Okay. What about dry flies?
Dry fly fishing.
Uh-huh.
If you ask somebody 5 years ago if there's any dry fly action on the river, they'd say absolutely not.
Uh-huh.
I will tell you, we have been doing hopper droppers, and they are starting to come up and hit dry flies. Most
Okay.
of the time, the whole problem is there's so much food that subsurface that rise to a dry doesn't really suit their fancy too much. So we do hopper droppers all the time, and it's especially when we're fishing for smallmouth. I got a popper dropper rig that can
Uh-huh.
be amazing.
I want to talk about
I,
the smallmouth a little bit later for sure.
absolutely.
I want to touch on that specific topic too.
But
Um,
we do a little dry fly fishing. But if you're going to do it, use it as an indicator. This is one of those rivers where they'll hit indicators, and if they're hitting your indicator, I'd put a big stimulator on,
okay.
some kind of big hopper,
Uh-huh.
and we've had a lot of fun hitting them. Just remember, there's a hook in it,